Greetings, old blade lovers. Welcome, one and all. This old sword here with something quite special today. Only my second knife from BRS Bladerunners. Bladerunners Systems. And this is part of their Evolve line. At least that's the order in which I think this falls, because Bladerunners Systems makes a lot of bally songs. They are the parent company for the Evolve line, and they're also known as BRS as an acronym. This is a large box, but it's a significant knife that's inside of this box. That's not going to tell you much, just a model number. This will tell you a little more. Khopesh C3. Yeah. And this is only, as I was saying, my second knife from them. Comes in a beautiful semi-soft zipper pouch. I'm sure you're impressed by that. I was by the size of the box it came in the mail. So let's not hesitate, shall we? Got the big E for Evolve there. Ho ho ho. Here we have the recently released, and I believe I might be scooping the blade community, which would be cool, meaning that I think I'm the first to do a review on this one, if not this particular one, even the three that are in the series. This beast of a knife, and we're going to measure it all up and weigh it, is simple but elegant and large. We've got I was going to say carbon fiber. We've got a G10 handle. Let's see if I can bump us up a notch here. There we go. Got a G10 handle. So smooth that it almost looks as though it was cast. In fact, when you first see it, you're saying, is that titanium or is that carbon, or is that, see, I want to keep saying carbon fiber, G10, right? Titanium bolsters, beautiful titanium clip. Apparently I can't say titanium either. And a very interesting opening mechanism, which they call a disc. We'll see if we can get a closer look at it later. But here we go. Oh, how about that? Look at that blade. So this is known as the Khopesh. Takes its name from an ancient sword from the Middle East, I believe. And one that, if you look it up, it has a kind of a large half moon belly in it, and then the tip goes straight. I believe they forged one as part of the contest on Forged in Fire. It's very simple, but it's extremely well made. Caged ball bearings, hidden liners, so they're embedded steel liners. So this G10 wraps around in such a way as to make it extremely ergonomically friendly. Doesn't force your grip no matter which direction. You hold in, you got a beautiful ramp there. If you choose to hold it point down, edge out. You could even roll it to edge in if you wanted to, although it's a little less comfortable that way. Jimped liner, again internal liners. Very nice and useful aggressive jimping on the underside of that blade choil and on the ramp here for your thumb. Perfectly positioned. And here's what we're talking about for an opening mechanism, what I can only describe as chevrons with pretty aggressive edges on them. So no matter, and check this action out. So when they say caged ball bearings, not sure how that's different from bearings on other blades in this range. This comes in around 2.5 on White Mountain knives. That's ballpark. You can look it up. There's 3 versions, and White Mountain carries all 3. I won't bother showing you pictures or describing them to you. You can look them up for yourself. One has a large hole in the blade, big oval hole, as you see on some of the Civivis and Wies these days, with a kind of a variant of this blade shape. It doesn't hook up, curve up quite so much. But notice you got that curve, but you still got your point basically on line with the center line of the handle. But getting back to the opening mechanism, however you want to describe it, they call it a disc. No matter where you hit it along this area, or middle finger flick it from underneath very easily, wherever you hit it, up here, in the middle, or here, it's going to open. And the detent is not real strong. You can do that and open it up. Could be that could be tuned up with that T8 pivot. I gave it a little bit of adjustment today, and wanted to see if I could tighten it up a little bit. I'm going to work on it a little more, but basically this just came out of the box. Back is wide open, and look at these standoffs. They call them fluted. Very, very, very interesting design. Titanium milled clip, which is, guess what? Switchable. So you lefties can use this knife as well. Deep carry enough for a titanium clip. Really not bad. No weight relieving in the liners. And we haven't even gotten to the measurements yet, right? So let's back out just a tad. Get the tape on the tip. And we are at 9¼ inches overall. We have a blade of 4 1/8. Cutting edge of 4 inches. Okay. More measurements. Blade in millimeters. 4.6 millimeters. 4.7. Can it be? Let's make sure we're getting it. I'm going to call it 4.2 millimeters. 4.2. Thought it was going to be close to 5. And we've got a 0.56 inch thickness to the handle. Not bad for this size knife. Feels heavy in the hand. Let's weigh it. Get in a little closer here. 5.725 ounces. 5.73 ounces. So while not extremely heavy, it's heavier knife, but you know, it's coming up on that ounce per inch, right? Comparisons wise, here's my other BRS. This is the Thresher. A little bit of knife pivot lube leaking off of that one. This is also a large knife, not quite as large as you can see. See if we can get those down here where it matters. I'm shooting at a slight angle. So by my eye, looking right over the camera, or right over the blades here, we've got very close to the same length blade, but I actually ask myself, how can that be? It's actually a little shorter when you measure it to the bolster, to the handle. And one thing on both of these knives that you'll notice, or not notice, is they're completely sterile. There is no branding, period, end of story. It's M390 steel, if I didn't mention that. Titanium bolster, titanium pocket clip, steel liners. Believe we've got either steel or titanium here. I think it's steel. It's kind of hard to tell without disassembling the entire knife. My magnet is getting attracted to that, but that could be the blade underneath. Even here there's some attraction, but that's the steel liner underneath. So I'm going to say those are, that so-called disc opening is steel. Some quick comparisons. Another large knife, the Amalgam by Spyderco. And it's a standoff. Very close to the same, although I know that the blade on the Amalgam is not quite as large, as you can see. Perspective with the camera is a funny thing sometimes. And I know there's a lot of YouTubers that make an effort to get right over top. I'm just not set up at the moment to get the camera right over top so I can work the camera as well. I don't use a cell phone for my vids. I use a camera. So we've got the weight, we've got the dimensions, we've got the steel, and for what it's worth, I'll get you an exact price at White Mountain Knives for the Khopesh. So we've got on that particular model, which is the, let's look at the label on the side of the box again. It is the BRS 010T. That's that style. Then you've got this style, more of a conventional flipper tab opening. And then that's the one I was describing that has a blade very similar to this one, except it's that whole tip grind is like a smaller version of it, and it's got the opening hole. So price on any one of them from White Mountain is $239.99 with a suggested retail price from the manufacturer of $324. So no, it's not a cheapie, but you're paying for premium materials and a very well designed and very well built knife. Hope you enjoyed this review, and come back for more. This is an interesting one today. It's well off the beaten path, and I'm glad it is. Kind of a departure from some of the other knives I've been reviewing. Hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe so we can hit that 1,000 mark. This Old Sword, signing off.